Procrastination isn't laziness. It's a quick way to quiet anxiety. You're not delaying the task. You're delaying the feeling that rises right before the task. Look, this is familiar to almost everyone. You know exactly what you need to do. The task is clear. You have time. And then you feel it. A thin layer of tension. Not panic. Just wait. That's when the mind starts negotiating. Let me reply to this message first. I'll tidy up real quick. I just need a bit more preparation. And you don't even notice how you drift into small things, because small things give you instant relief. Here's the key. Procrastination rarely starts with laziness. It starts with avoidance. Avoidance calms you for a second, so the habit gets reinforced. But later you pay for it, with background anxiety, a sense of unfinished debt, and a quiet drop in self-respect. In this video, I'm not going to sell you motivation. The Stoics taught something else. Regain command of yourself. Don't wait for the perfect mood. Act calmly, step by step, even when it feels uncomfortable inside. So if you don't just want to stop procrastinating, but become someone who holds their course, stay with me. Next, we'll look at what you're really avoiding and how to reclaim. Let's call things by their real names. When you procrastinate, you're almost never postponing the task itself. You're postponing what the task awakens inside you. First, fear of mistakes. Not because a mistake is fatal, but because it hits your self-image. That feeling of, I should be capable. So the mind chooses a clever escape. If I haven't started, I haven't failed yet. Second, fear of judgment. Even if no one is standing next to you, there's already an audience in your head. A voice that compares, criticizes, gives you a grade. And you protect yourself in advance. You delay so you don't have to meet the possibility of not good enough. Third, fear of the finish. Sometimes we delay not because doing is hard, but because finishing is frightening. As long as it isn't done, it still feels like it could become perfect. But finishing requires something adult. Accept the result, send it, show it, be responsible for it. The Stoics looked at this with clear eyes. They said, we're not disturbed by events, but by our judgments about events. The task itself isn't what scares you. What scares you is the thought, I might mess up. I'll be judged. I won't measure up. And here's the first turn toward freedom. When you can see what you're avoiding, you stop being a toy of that emotion. You begin to act not from confidence, but from clarity. Because Stoicism isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward even while fear is around. Now some psychology without making it complicated. Procrastination doesn't run on laziness. It runs on one mechanism, instant relief. When you approach a task, discomfort rises inside you. It can look like anxiety, boredom, doubt, tension, even shame. And your brain does what it does best. It searches for a way to reduce that unpleasant state right now. Not tomorrow, not in an hour, now. You get distracted and you feel better. You check your phone and the tension drops. You do something simple and you regain a sense of control. That's why procrastination is so sticky. It rewards you immediately. It's like pressing a button that says, mute the discomfort, but the price comes later, and it's always the same. The task doesn't disappear. It turns into background noise. You carry it around like an open tab in your mind, quietly draining energy. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished tasks keep your attention, even when you're not consciously thinking about them. And there's another detail. The longer you avoid, the more your brain labels the task as a threat. You're not just not doing it. Each time you reinforce the message, this is dangerous, this is heavy, don't go there. That's how the loop forms. Discomfort, avoidance, relief, guilt, even more discomfort. The Stoic view here is very precise. You don't have to enjoy discomfort, but you must see its cost. Procrastination feels like rest, but it isn't rest. It's postponement that makes you more anxious. Real relief doesn't come from running away. It comes from starting and taking back command of yourself. Now we come to the central tool of Stoicism. It's simple, but it cuts procrastination like a blade, separating what is mine from what is not mine. Most of the time we delay because we're not holding the action in mind. We're holding the outcome. We try to guarantee everything at once, that it will be perfect, that people will like it, that we'll be praised, that we won't feel shame, and that's what makes the task feel heavy. It's like trying to lift the entire weight in one motion. A Stoic does it differently. They set up two pillars. The first pillar is what is within my control. I can begin, I can give it 20 minutes. I can open the document and write a rough draft. I can make one call. I can send what is ready today, not perfect, but honestly done. This is my territory. This is where I'm responsible. The second pillar is what is not within my control. Other people's reactions are not mine. Their mood, their taste, their level of goodwill, none of it belongs to me. Luck, circumstances, timing, the speed of recognition, also not mine. Even the perfect result isn't mine, because perfection is often a fantasy the mind uses to avoid starting. And here's the key line I want you to hold through this entire video. A Stoic moves attention from the outcome to the action. Not how will this look, but what will I do right now? Not will they understand me, but will I do my duty? Not will it be perfect, but will it be done? When you shift focus to action, the task stops feeling like a threat. It becomes a step, and a step is always possible, even in a bad mood, even without inspiration, even without confidence. Now let's look at the three most common lines the mind uses to cover procrastination. Not to shame yourself, but to stop believing the script. First, I need inspiration. It sounds beautiful, almost noble, but most of the time it really means, I want to start without discomfort. I want a soft entry. No tension, no doubt, no awkwardness. The problem is that inspiration is a rare visitor, while duty shows up every day. And if you wait for inspiration, you hand control over to chance. A Stoic would say, I don't wait for a state, I choose an action. Second, I have to do it perfectly. On the surface, it looks like high standards, but underneath, it's often fear. If it isn't perfect, I'll feel shame. So the mind chooses a clever defense. Don't do it at all. The paradox is that perfectionism rarely creates quality. It creates delay. Quality shows up after you begin, through revisions, attempts, and contact with reality. Third, now isn't the right time. Sometimes that's true. You're sick, you're in crisis, you're exhausted. But most of the time it's a mask. I don't want to feel discomfort right now. So the mind offers a deal. Let's take it easy today, and tomorrow we'll start for real. And tomorrow becomes the next tomorrow. Here's what matters, said calmly. Procrastination is not a bad character. It's a learned habit of reducing tension by the fastest route. Nothing mystical, no doom, just a trained pattern. Discomfort appears, and you escape into something easier. The good news is that habits can be trained and retrained, and the moment you stop believing the excuses, you regain something powerful. Choice. Not a perfect choice, but a real one. Now, the first practice. It's simple, almost too simple, and that's exactly why it works. I call it the small duty. Here's the idea. When a task feels intimidating, you don't have to become a hero. You have to make the task so small that refusing it would feel almost ridiculous. Not sit down and finish everything, but take the first step, the one you can't realistically say no to, because procrastination lives at the entrance. Once you're inside the work, it often gets easier, but the threshold looks high. A Stoic doesn't argue with the threshold. A Stoic lowers it. Here's what that looks like in real life. If you need to write, don't tell yourself write the whole piece. Your small duty is 3 sentences, any sentences, messy, unpolished, just 3. After 3, you're already inside, and momentum starts to carry you. If you need to start a project, don't tell yourself build the project. Your small duty is open the document and name the file. Yes, it sounds almost silly, but it's an action, and it breaks the main spell of procrastination. I haven't started yet. If you need to handle something through a call, don't tell yourself solve everything. Your small duty is make the first call or send a short message like, "Hi, can I clarify one thing?" You're not solving your whole life. You're just opening the door. Why does this work? Because willpower is trained not through heroic moments, but through entry. Heroism requires inspiration. Entry is a craft, repeatable action you can do even when you feel low. And one rule matters. The small duty must be clear and measurable. Not work a bit, but 10 minutes, 3 sentences, 1 call, 1 edit. Stoics love clarity. Clarity is a form of self-respect. You might say, but that's too little. Yes, and that's the strength. Stability is built from small duties you complete without drama. Do something small, and you regain the main thing, a sense of command, and then everything else follows. Pace, depth, quality. But first, the second practice is classic Stoicism, something Marcus Aurelius and Seneca both live by. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of obstacles. The point isn't pessimism, the point is sobriety. You see in advance where you're likely to slip, and you prepare your response. Procrastination often looks like weak willpower, but in reality, it's usually a weak strategy. You enter the day as if there will be no friction. The phone won't buzz, fatigue won't arrive, your mood will stay steady. And then life does what it always does, it interrupts, and you slide. A Stoic does the opposite. The Stoic asks in the morning or the night before, where do I usually break exactly? Not in general, specifically. For example, I sit down to work and open the browser for a minute. I start, and 10 minutes later I feel bored, so I reach for quick dopamine. I delay because I don't know how to begin. I get tired in the evening and push everything to tomorrow. These are your break points. See them without shame. It's just a map. Then ask the second question. What will I place between myself and the slip? If the problem is the phone, the Stoic solution isn't hope. The Stoic solution is to move it out of the room. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Block social apps. Not because you're weak, but because you're resumni. You build conditions that make it easier to stay faithful to your decision. If the problem is, I don't know where to start, you prepare the entry in advance. 1 file already open, 1 bullet point written, 1 next step clearly stated. So when it's time to begin, you don't have to make 10 decisions, because extra decisions are fuel for delay. If the problem is fatigue, you choose the right time. Do the most important work in the first half of the day, and in the evening, do a small duty that closes the loop without breaking you. Here's the key. A Stoic doesn't bet on mood. A Stoic bets on preparation. You don't beg yourself for strength. You reduce temptation and chaos. That is mature discipline. Not I'm strong, I can endure anything. But I arrange my environment wisely, so I don't betray my own choices. To anticipate obstacles is to stop being surprised by yourself. You know what pulls you away, and you set a boundary in advance, quietly, without drama, like an adult. The third practice is the most honest and the most Stoic. Accept discomfort as the price of freedom. Procrastination always offers the same deal. Comfort now, anxiety later. You delay so you can feel better for a minute. But that relief is deceptive. It doesn't remove the weight, it only moves it into the future and adds a sense of debt on top. A Stoic makes the opposite deal. Discomfort now, peace later. They don't wait for it to feel pleasant. They treat the unpleasant part as part of the path, training for character. And here's something important. Discomfort is not a sign that you're doing the wrong thing. More often, it's a sign that you're entering growth. The body wants what's easy, the mind wants clarity. And right here, your direction in life gets chosen. When you begin, you will almost always feel resistance. And if you treat that resistance as an order to stop, you stay trapped in habit. But if you treat it as a signal, this is the training, you regain command of yourself. Remember this simple formula. The work won't get easier, but you will get stronger. Not loudly, not heroically, just a little sturdier each day. Procrastination promises peace and never delivers it. Action takes your peace at first, but then it gives it back, real and earned, quiet, clean, and steady. Here's an important detail. Procrastination isn't fueled only by the task. It's also fueled by the way you speak to yourself. If your inner voice is a whip, pull yourself together, you're weak again. What's wrong with you? Your nervous system doesn't mobilize, it contracts, and you avoid even more. A Stoic inner voice is different. It doesn't humiliate, it directs. It doesn't demand that you feel the right way. It demands that you choose the right way. So when you catch yourself delaying, don't argue with yourself for hours. Say something short and exact. For example, I don't have to want it. I have to take one step. What's mine is action, not other people's reactions. Right now, I choose character over relief. 5 minutes, then I'll decide whether to continue. I'm not chasing perfect, I'm closing the duty. These lines don't work like motivation. They work like a command. They bring you back to reality. What exactly needs to be done right now, without drama and without self-trial. And one more thing, a Stoic doesn't ask for great strength. A Stoic asks for small fidelity, not to conquer life, just to fulfill a small duty today. Because self-respect isn't built from inspiration, it's built from moments. And this is what it all comes down to. I'm not promising you success. I'm promising something more important. Self-command. Because self-command is what gives you calm, and procrastination is what quietly steals it. Hold on to this idea. Procrastination doesn't disappear when you become a different person. It disappears when you stop waiting for a different state. When you stop waiting for inspiration, readiness, the perfect moment, and you begin acting inside reality as it is. Today, you don't need to defeat yourself. You just need to reclaim one small territory of control. Choose one duty for today, small, clear, 3 sentences, 1 call, 10 minutes of work, and do it without negotiation. Then simply note to yourself, I did it. That quiet note is softer than any motivation and stronger than it. And if this way of thinking speaks to you, you can subscribe. Here we practice living with clarity, less noise, less self